Hello, everyone. I'm David, the artist, writer, and creator of The Adventures of Miss Rocket, and to celebrate our third anniversary, I wanted to do something a little special, so I put together a little Q&A video. But I didn't just want to record me sitting here answering questions, so I made a little speed drawing video, so there's something that's a bit more interesting to watch while I answer some questions. When I did record this video, I didn't realize that my webcam was on, so you will see me kind of in the corner as I draw. But I want to thank you for watching and thank you for reading, and I hope you enjoy the show. Shaney from the Heroes of the World and Beyond comic wants to know, what was the inspiration behind the character? So my whole inspiration came from wanting to do a more positive superhero story. A lot of superheroes seem to be dark and gritty, and I really wanted to get away from that. I don't necessarily dislike that style, but it's something that I feel has been oversaturated, and I wanted to do something that was a bit more on the positive, optimistic side, similar to the Silver Age of comics from the 50s and 60s. The kind of hero who could deal with real-world issues, but would also end up fighting a super intelligent ape on the moon or whatever. I wanted to do something a bit more lighthearted. That's why the comic itself is called The Adventures of Miss Rocket. I wanted something with a sense of fun and adventure. That's also why I've tried to keep kind of a retro future style in it. It fits with the space race and that feeling of hopefulness and optimism towards the future that you saw in the 1950s and 60s. Originally, too, she was actually supposed to be a video game character. Back when I was in college, I had dreams of making video games, so I was doodling up a bunch of characters. So a lot of the inspiration stems from that. It's why she has different types of rockets that she uses, because those would have been power-ups in the game. It's why she even has the rocket boots, because my idea was instead of jumping over a bottomless pit in a level, you could kind of float and hover over that. So a lot of the sort of technical aspects, it's a combination of that sort of optimistic Silver Age superhero and a video game character. At JGangsta187 on Twitter wants to know, how do you pronounce her last name? Which is a pretty easy question. Her last name is a Welsh name that means skilled, and is pronounced Jin. At Games People Play asks, what is her boot's power source? Science? I mean, in all seriousness, I haven't done enough research to have a correct answer, but I would say it's a combination of a liquid fuel cell and some kind of scientific device that pulls in nitrogen from the atmosphere to create a replenishing fuel source. I mean, essentially, she flies with her boots whenever she wants, because comics. Josh, the creator of Heroes of Crash, wants to know, why the two-toned hair? And honestly, I just think it looks cool. Ever since I first designed her, Miss Rocket always had bangs that kind of framed her face, and one day I was coloring in and I thought, what if we highlighted the bangs? And I just thought it looked really nice, so the design kind of stuck. Question from Rob Turner from Reynard City Chronicles, if there was a film of Miss Rocket, who would you want to play her? I would probably want to cast an unknown actress in order to fit the role. I know a lot of actors in real life, so I always like to give sort of the undiscovered talent a chance. So I would probably want to pick somebody who's not well known, but if I had to cast a name actress, I guess Haley Steinfeld would do a pretty good job. She was pretty good in that Bumblebee movie, and she was a great Spider-Gwen, so yeah, I think she would work. And finally, my Patreon supporter Lance Revere wants to know, why doesn't everyone use guns? And that's actually a really good question. Originally, Miss Rocket did have a sidearm, but I opted to add the rocket launcher on her wrist. So again, kind of going back to that video game character, the sidearm, her laser pistol would have been a basic attack, and she would have used rockets as sort of a power-up. But once I started moving away from that and going more into a comic direction, I didn't really see a need to keep the gun. Her fists and her rockets did the trick just fine. As for why nobody else uses them, I honestly don't really have an answer. I mean, there's no reason not for them. I just never really thought about it. It seemed like people using punches or superpowers was a better way. Maybe it was just a subconscious thing. I do my best to keep the comic all ages friendly, so getting shot at might be a little weird. Although she has been shot at by robots and lasers, so I guess I never really did put guns in the hands of crooks. I honestly never really noticed that. So if I have an answer, it's there isn't really a reason that people don't use guns. Huh. So that's all I have for the questions. I do want to thank everybody for watching and for reading. It's been a great time these past 3 years. I've really enjoyed making this comic, and I hope you all have enjoyed reading it. I still have a lot more stories to tell, so I hope that you continue to enjoy them. You can always find the comic here at MissRocket.com, and if you would like to support the comic, there's a link on our main page just in the top menu, or you can go to patreon.com/DFDFleming. And if you enjoy the stuff that I draw and want to see more, I do occasionally post sketches and other drawings on Twitter and Instagram, which you can follow at DFDFleming. And until the next update, I hope you take care.